Oh my god, I have to start this by laughing because it's funny. But guys, this is a story on how that one time I almost got kidnapped in Guyana. And this was like, I was like 15. This is like after I went back to Guyana from St. Lucia, like my first time ever going back to Guyana when I left St. Lucia. How I almost got kidnapped. Honestly, I only told like my family members or I would tell a friend, this experience, but I've never like really shared it because it's it's mind blowing. At that time, like things really used to happen. Like that's all I can say, but let's get into it. So it all started where I was going to see my grandmother up the East Bank, and after the visit, I was walking out on the road trying to get a bus. But this guy saw me, right? And he was driving this really nice cars and stuff like that. But back then, at that age, a guy having like a flashy car is something that every teenager would like, oh my god, he have a nice car. So anyway, he was like, hey, you cute. I like you. Let me give you a ride wherever you're going. And I'm like, nah, it's cool. And he driving and he talking like he was really trying to convince me to get in his car. Anyway, I was about to go in his car when I looked back and then I saw my grandmother and she was like, what are you doing? I said, oh, this guy is giving me a ride. And she was like, okay, but I'm going to tongue too, so let's all take the ride together. Honestly, I think if my grandmother didn't come out, I would have been kidnapped from since the afternoon. But this is how I know God has a plan and a purpose for me. Anyway, he took us to town, Georgetown, that day, and we exchanged numbers. And he told me he wanted to take me out on a show because he probably heard my accent because I was speaking like St. Lucian. So I think he probably did heard my accent. So he was like, "Oh, I want to take you to a show because Macadamia is coming to Guyana, and I think it'll be something you would enjoy." So I'm like, "All right, no problem." So I'm like, "Good." So I went home and I was like so happy that, oh my god, I finally met someone for the first time. I'm in Guyana and he have a nice car, so he probably have money. So I went and I got this really nice outfit, do my hair, my nails, all preparing to go to Macadamia show on Friday night. But what started happening was like after Friday came, like within myself, something started feeling wrong. Like I started feeling like I shouldn't go, but yet still, I would tell people death was calling me because I think between that period of time when something is about to happen, I think your spirit do sense it. But when the spirit of death calling you, and there's like a huge battle thing, so part of me was saying don't go, and part was saying go, right? So like all sort of thing I can remember that happened that could have caused me not to go. Like for instance, I couldn't get a bus to go down to town the night, and I was like, okay, I'll just stay and just party Friday night up the East Coast. But then when I told him, he was like, no, take a taxi. I'm gonna pay for the taxi, whatever, right? So I'm like, okay. So I jumped in the taxi. It so happened that this taxi was a really good friend of my mom. And I'm sitting there in the car with him and I'm telling him, I say, I gonna meet somebody, but I don't know this person. Must just take this guy driving plate, whatever you call it, the plate license, you know. But why would I say that? That's to show within me, I knew something was gonna happen. Like my spirit was trying to tell me it ain't right, don't go, but the spirit of death was also calling me. So it was like a huge battle. And at that time I wasn't a Christian, and I had no, my spiritual life was dull, so I had no kind of like, you know, what was going on. But anyway, I decided to go. Oh, we got there. He came over and he paid the taxi guy. So everything seemed fine. So on the way going back to now his car, I realized that the car was kind of different and it was so tinted, like dark. So when I go in the car, I sit down. There was the next guy at the back of the car, and this guy's face was just serious, and he had this long scratch on his face, the one at the back, right? Then the guy that picked me up, I told him, I said, "You didn't tell me you was gonna bring someone." He was like, "Yeah, that's my friend, whatever." I'm like, "All right, no problem." So I got in the car and sit down. All through I'm sitting in this car, y'all, I feel like something was wrong. Something is going to happen. My hand starts sweating, like for no reason, right? Anyways, while we start driving, like 3 minutes into the driving, this guy started insulting me, calling me all sort of names. Like, look at you, you a whore. Look at how you dress. Y'all, this is how y'all little girl is get kidnapped. You don't even know me. You coming like he started like really intimidating me, like just insulting me, guys. Like he started telling me like the wildest thing ever, and I'm there sitting like quiet because I'm between shock, like I'm shocked, and in my mind I said, wow, this is why my feelings was telling me not to come. And I said, nah, this is my last. And then he turned and said, let me lock this car before you try to jump out. So I'm sitting there like, what the hell? And I didn't show him that I was fearful because I was like, at that moment, I guess I was shocked. I didn't know what to do. So I had my phone still, and I was texting my family members. I was texting like hella people, like his pictures, location, everything. Oh my God. It's not funny, but you see, when you're young and you just don't have experience and you want to live life, like you go through a lot of stuff, and you know, when you get older, you be like, wow, I really took some risk. Anyways, I'm sitting in the car and I'm like, what can I do? Like nobody not replying because it's Friday night and all of my siblings they're out, they're enjoying themselves, right? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay, the only thing I can do right now is call on God. So I started talking to God. I'm like, God, if you save me, I would never go back to a party. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if you can hear me, but I need you to save me. Do something that, like get me out of this situation, Lord God. Like I start praying in my mind, right? Then the wildest thing happened. Like that was the first time in my life at age 15 I seen God actually worked, and like something actually happened that left me like, whoa, I didn't even know. But anyway, guys, if you like this and you're enjoying it, like for part two, and I'm gonna do a part two.